All right, so welcome everyone this evening, and thank you for joining. Today is a most special day, and it is Easter Sunday, which marks, in the Christian tradition, the resurrection of Christ. And it's a special day because of the inner attitudes that Jesus Christ demonstrated in the face of the most extreme adversity that a human being can really experience on this earth, which was crucifixion. And he, time and time again, in the lead up to his crucifixion, demonstrated his own sense of divine inner attitudes, where he was so loving and compassionate towards those who were crucifying him. And really, he was more aware than they were of the karmic debts that they were taking on to themselves by punishing him when he was an innocent man. So, what makes it so incredible— oh, good. We have more people coming in. What makes it so incredible is that in the face of extreme adversity, he was able to maintain that divine consciousness. So whether you experience Christ as a person that actually lived, or even if it's just an allegory in your mind, still he is modeling to us the highest level of consciousness that we can all aspire to. You know, these great saints and avatars that come to the earth, they're not here to just demonstrate how amazing they are, but really they come to remind us of our own inner potential and to remind us of the direction that we're all heading to, which is to a saintly way of being. You know, the great yogi Paramahansa Yogananda says that we are all gods who are sleeping. And this is the essence of our journey on this earth, is to keep aspiring. It's a directional aspiration to the next highest level of consciousness from where we are. So for you, that means being kinder. If it means being more loving, maybe to a coworker, to a family member, if it means holding the door for somebody at the grocery store, if it means in this particular time of staying home and being safe and keeping other people safe, this these are the directional ways that we can take the next best step towards being loving, towards being compassionate, that next step on our own rise and ascent to sainthood. So it's a very special day uh, because this is the day that is the resurrection of Christ. And what that means is it's really the resurrection of Christ consciousness, or our highest potential in this lifetime, to really rise out of the small self into the higher self. And that resurrection we go through on a daily basis, where, you know, at any time we can resurrect our higher sense of awareness by lifting the energy in our body and by choosing the next best activity. And we're all doing that tonight by participating in this class. So when you practice tonight, again, whether you have a relationship with Jesus Christ as an actual person that lived, as an allegory, as an avatar, an ascended master, a very high mastered being, however you relate to him, um, this is a particular day that his energy can be drawn into our class. And so at the very least, Jesus Christ can represent unconditional love and supreme forgiveness and understanding. And that's a quality that we can all really aspire to. So when you practice today, in the energetic body, the point between the two eyebrows, Agya Chakra, is referred to as the center of Christ consciousness. And what Christ consciousness again is a pure reflection of the divine. It's our highest potential. So let's really aspire to that in our class today, to relax out of any emotional moods, out of any physical tension, and really begin to regather that energy up into the spine and to draw it back up to the point between the two eyebrows. This is where we experience liberation, where we experience our consciousness expanding beyond the body. A beautiful teacher was sharing a practice that she does with kids in her school. This is cool. It's called the Living Wisdom School in California. And they teach the kids there at a very young age this practice called little self, big self. And every time the kids show qualities of acting selfish, of being mean to other kids, um, being angry, all the kids say little self. They keep repeating little self, little self. And every time the kids share these loving qualities, when they're generous, when they share, they give to each other, they support somebody through a challenging time. These are little kids, mind you. They all start celebrating by saying big self, big self. And, we can learn from this practice that to know when we're acting from a place of our little self or our small self, and when we're stepping, when we're upgrading, when we're standing in Christ consciousness to rise into the big self. So, my hope for all of you today, my prayer to all of you, is that you be able to uh, self offer, right? This is what Bhakti Yoga is. It's the practice of self offering, of giving up that little self into the vast ocean of the divine and really embracing your highest potential through love and through acceptance. Wow. All right. Let's start with that. So find your nice, comfortable seat just for this time of opening in our practice. I like to take a little rocking from side to side. You might pull the muscle of the glutes out of the way so that you can really feel the bones of your sits bones plugging down into the ground. So little rocking is a nice way to do that. Good. And let's take a couple breaths. We'll use the hands and keep eyes open just for a moment. And you're going to inhale and draw the hands up the body. And then exhale and let them come out and around. So your hands represent where the breath is. When the hands are down by the belly, inhale and lift as you push the belly out. Expand ribs and chest. Good. And then just circle out and around. So you have to find your own timing here and the way that your breath is ready to flow early in the practice. Good. And let your arms be nice and relaxed, sort of light gliding through the movement. And the focus is on lifting the energy right up to the point between the two eyebrows. And then just let that practice go and come for another round. So like great magnets, you're drawing and lifting, breathing fullness of breath. And then gently expanding. Try closing the eyes now and take a few rounds to watch, and you sort of rise. It's like the cosmic elevator in the body. You're lifting from low consciousness at the base of the spine and ride all the way to the penthouse suite, the spiritual eye at the point between the two eyebrows. When you don't need the expression of the arms, just rest the hands upward facing on the lap, and we'll keep looking to this point between our two eyebrows. Relax all the muscles. Just taking a moment here to feel what is referred to in the yogic traditions as the pranamaya kosha. It is the energetic body. When energy begins to rise up the spine, it draws the inhalation into the body. As it begins to descend down other side of the spine, it pushes the breath out of the body. We have left and right hemispheres of the body, so even behind closed eyes, all as if you're shining a spotlight sort of illuminate like a glowworm, illuminate the left side of the body, and then shift over to the right side. And if you need a little help with this, just rock very gently over from one side to the other. When you're on the right, really sit tall up in the spine and feel the right side of the body illuminated. And then over to the left side. Nice deep breath flowing in through the nose and out through the nose. Even as you breathe, keep your awareness centered at Agya Chakra, the center of Christ consciousness, higher awareness in the body, and intuition. Every time we draw our energy to the point between the two eyebrows, it is a victory in your life. There's a story I may have told in this group before, but for those listening at another time, there's a story of a man who had a near-death experience. When he had this experience, he found that there was a great expanding light from the point between his two eyebrows, and he entered through that light and he found himself in a stadium filled with angelic beings. And this man was a severe alcoholic and had been struggling so hard to overcome this very challenging habit. And he was taking the smallest steps, anything that he could do. And the smallest triumph for him, just saying no. And one time when he was almost overcome with his delusion, this entire stadium filled with beings of light, they were cheering him on, celebrating, because for him, it was one positive step towards the light. This is what it means to resurrect. This is the message that Jesus Christ brought us. That daily, moment to moment, we can resurrect our awareness from the dead, which is ego consciousness, back into the higher awareness by lifting the gaze to the point between the two eyebrows. So let's take a couple more moments here, and we're going to listen to the sound of Om. If you need to adjust your posture, feel free, and really absorb this vibration. The sound of Om is the seed of all sounds. Yogananda Ji describes it as the hum of the universe in motion. In many ways, it represents the female or the material side of creation, whereas the male is the impersonal, untouched. Let's listen to the sound of Om together, resting in higher awareness at the point between the brows. Just allowing a few moments here to feel the inner atmosphere of our consciousness beginning to shift beyond the personality, beyond the body, subject to time and space, is the pure consciousness that flows into our body. Center your awareness for just a few moments at the base of the skull, top of the spine, the entry point of prana or life force energy into the body, as directly realized by great yogis, great saints, and many traditions. Let the body fill with energy, with presence, as you feel your body and the space that it occupies. All right, let's just open with inhaling and drawing the arms out wide, tracing the circumference of the body as you reach the arms up and overhead. And then very gently exhale and bathe the body with a great sense of cleansing and vitality, an energetic bathing of the body. So the inhale presses the arms up into the sky. And the exhale, like a vacuum, you're drawing into the body as you push out the breath, filling any empty pockets, any depleted cells in the body. Take one more round, acquainting yourself and cultivating a relationship with the energetic body. Right. Let's take tips of fingers to the top of the skull and just do a little circling here, loosening. Keep the eyes closed if you can in your practice. Not really much going on in the outside world. All the attractive experiences are in the internal world. Not only are you sort of rubbing the skin, but also anchor the fingers and shift the skin away from tight or bound connection to the skull and get to the forehead space, even behind the ears, especially base of the skull, top of the spine. If you ever find yourself ruminating on a thought or stuck in an emotional mood, this is a great way to start initiating a transition in that experience. Let's take hands, soft drumming. Sit nice and tall into the drumming of the palms or into the drumming of the knuckles. And you're waking up all the little cells in your brain. So eliminating any drowsiness. Although this is restorative yoga, nobody is really sleeping in the practice. We want to remain active. So let's take a deep breath and reach through tips of the fingers up above the head. And one last time, just bathe the body down. Notice if you feel vibration, if you feel temperature exchange. This is the language of the prana body. Dropping hands down to the thighs. Let's give a little rubbing. If you need to alter your leg position, feel free. Make sure you get inside and outside, down to the shins. Nice deep breathing. Good little wrapping of the knuckles on the legs. So just soft fist drumming. Waking up the body. All right, let's join hands out in front, and we're going to double inhale and tense the muscles back as we open the arms. So sounds like this. And then release. Lots of vigor and attention. Feel that you're pulling energy through the medulla, back of the skull, top of the spine again. And releasing, gentle relax. Tensing arms. One more time. Good. Last of our seated exploration, soft fist to the heart. We're going to inhale and tense the arms out. Then release forward, and then exhale forward. Double inhale up, and then down. So inhale out. Nice and smooth. One more time. All right, good. Just turn the palms up on the lap. Close the eyes. Awareness centered at the eyebrows. Notice how the body feels. All right, let's flutter eyes back open. So I changed my mind. One more here. Let's double inhale and tense the body. So squeeze the muscles, squeeze the legs, squeeze the belly and shoulders, and then release. So it's a nice gradual tension. Deep double inhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the body. Sip in more air if you need it. Smile right at the peak, and then let it go. All right, let's do one more. And then release, equalizing distribution of energy in the body. Let's slowly flutter the eyes back open. We'll enter into our first posture. So as this is restorative yoga, make sure you have little pillows or supports here for your practice. So you can use throw pillows, you can use bedroom pillows, whatever's most comfortable. We're going to come into a supported child's pose. Blanket can be very helpful in this pose. If you tend to be tight behind your knees, I recommend taking a blanket in a couple of folds and sliding it right under the crease of the knees and then leaning back. We'll take a couple of pillows here. One nice way is to set them onto the lap. So if you have rather big pillows, just find a comfortable position and you're going to lay yourself down. Forearms is a great way to start, lowering the head and the chin. Some of us don't need any props, and you just remove the props as needed. Now, if your ankles are particularly uncomfortable, find a little blanket and just find a little cushion underneath, slide it underneath the ankles, and then come down into your child's pose. Good. So finding your way into your comfortable version this evening. Allowing, most important in this practice of child's pose, is to let the head and the neck bow down. So this really releases, there's a beautiful bone up here called the atlas. And when the atlas is in proper alignment, the rest of the spine follows in suit. It's like the queen or the king of the kingdom distributing orders and the rest of the kingdom following suit. So let's close down the eyes here. The affirmation for child's pose to help you develop the correct inner alignment for the posture is I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. So look to the point between the two eyebrows. If you'd like, you can start by repeating this outwardly. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Take it a little quieter. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Let's even take it silently now, feeling my words as yours. I relax from outer involvement into my inner haven of peace. Revealing that within yourself is a paradise of peace. As the waves and fluctuations of the heart and the mind begin to slow down, this inner peace is like a spring flower that blooms all on its own, just with the gentle touch of the sunshine, the gentle touch of your inner presence in your practice. So let the thoughts be like clouds drifting through the blue sky. As quickly as they come onto the screen of your mind, they drift away. And all the while you lay into your posture, enjoying and indulging in the sight and in the experience of the springtime blooming of your own soul qualities of peace. We'll take our first chant in to this pose. Relaxing as you are.
Vieni presto Gesù, vieni, vieni, 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 vieni presto Gesù, vieni, vieni presto Gesù, vieni. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy love. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy love. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light. Come to me, Jesus, fill me with thy light.
Allowing this moment before exiting the posture to center the inner awareness at the point between two eyebrows. Feeling a great sense of expanding light from this point. Breath is long, deep, and melodious, reflecting the unique melody of your heart, of your individuality. When you're ready to rise, let it be very gradual and leave the head low. And we're going to slowly peel our way out of this pose and come right into a cat pose. So come right on the tips of the fingers and look towards your lap. And then slide down through cow pose. So very slow transitions, inhaling and lifting chin and crown of the head, and then exhaling and rounding the back. Nice deep transitions here. Feeling the articulation starting at the base of the spine, begin to tuck the tail, rounding through low back, mid back, upper back, finally looking towards the lap in your cat pose. And then inhaling to reverse the rotation, dip as you lift your tailbone, drop the low spine, rise through mid back, upper back, and crown of the head. So just take a few rounds here, waking the spine. Deep awareness as you pulse. Great flow of energy through the spine. Now let's take hands one step forward beyond where they are and just let the hips begin to circle, and we'll flush out any energy that may have gathered in the hips from our exploration in the child's pose. Loosen up the shoulders, loosen up the expression on the face here. If you feel too serious to smile, then find deeper breath into the body. Relieve that inner pressure to be serious and come back to childlike joy. Reverse the rotation as you're ready, just softening and bringing vitality into the region of the hips. We're going to come down for a rather temporary pose, but we're going to extend our legs back and we're going to lay down onto the belly. So just drop down onto your belly and we'll take hands under the face and elbows underneath the shoulders. It's just a moment here of counter pose before we continue in our practice. This is Sphinx pose. Pulling on elbow points to loosen in the low spine. So pulling elbows towards your hips, lengthen through the heart center. Just take a few moments. Let's wake up the neck and throat region by drawing chin over to one shoulder and then the other. And we'll end in just a little figure eight pattern of the nose. So loosening into the back of the neck, opening into the upper back or back side of the heart. Pointing toes, keeping the legs completely engaged in the practice. Just soften a little bit more here. When you're ready to inhale, gently lift through crown of the head, put slight pressure into the hands. Good, and then we'll exhale. We're going to lower down here by spreading the elbows, centering weight on the hands, bend the knees, and swing the feet side to side. So last little flush of our low spine before we dive into deeper resting postures. All right. As you're ready, sealing toes back behind you. Just press onto hands and knees, nice and light in your practice. So we're going to take this into a supported pigeon pose. So this is a little exploration today in our practice. So the easiest way is to take a pillow or a blanket and to center it under or in between the legs and slowly descend down. Now you can also set your pillow off to the side next to your leg and let your hips collide down. Now, the other option is that you can set your ankle out to the side and you can seat that pillow right under the center and drop onto the forearms. As many pillows as you might need, you might sit in front of the chest and you might come down onto forearms. So if the hips are very high up in the air, and they might look like me in the example of the picture, then you would just very gently come down onto forearms and stay upward in the pose here. Again, we're not long in the pose, but find your comfortable version of a pigeon pose. Don't worry if hips are high. You can always take your pillow, come down onto forearms on the pillow even. And the idea here is just to sit back into the hips and to really breathe. Breathe long, deep, supportive breath. Make sure that your hips feel supported. Most important is to release the forehead and also the back of the neck and base of the skull. Good. So take some time here to settle in. If you need any adjustments, close the eyes and tune into the body. What does my body need in this moment to really sustain this pose and to be okay? Is it longer, deeper breath? Is it maybe a softening of the heart, a joyfulness in the heart? Is it more padding underneath a particular hip or knee or forehead space? And beginning to feel a deeper connection with the rhythm of your breath. The rhythm of your breath is always reflecting your state of consciousness. The higher the awareness, the greater the sense of energy, also the deeper the calm, which reflects a long, deep breath. You might think of great ocean creatures like the whales deep down in the currents beneath the surface of the water, moving very gracefully, large bodies. This is the quality that our breath begins to take on as we really soften and surrender our body back into the hands of grace. Just imagine a great sense of vitality and energy entering through the base of your skull. You might even imagine that someone has a hand gently laid there and also on the backside of the heart. Maybe it's the hand of a beloved. It could be the hand of one of the great masters. It could be the hand of Jesus, very gently guiding you. There's a Sanskrit word for a devotee of a great master, and it's Chela. And Chela is translated directly as child. And this is the optimal way for us to practice, is really to be childlike, to let the parent of higher awareness really take control of our practice. When we need to breathe more deeply, we listen to that parenting. Softening and expanding. If we've walked too deep into the woods of the posture and we're really struggling to stay in a calm state, maybe this is an opportunity for us to learn to really back away from that threshold and not get so close, but take our time in the practice to be okay with less. So let's begin first with awakening back into the breath, maybe drawing deep inhalation through the nose and deep exhalation through the nose. And we're just preparing to rise for the other side. Some of these more challenging poses, we don't need to spend 5 or 10 minutes, but just enough time to open the body. So when you're ready to rise out, just come onto hands and knees. And if the eyes can stay closed and you can just listen to my voice, all the better. We're going to circle the hips around a couple more times here. And in this version, let's just stay down and back. So like you're tracing the shape of the letter U, just sort of bow the hips back and off to one side and the other, loosen the shoulders, and joyful in the expression on the face. Be joyful as we liberate these tired, uncomfortable energies out of the hips. When you feel like you've had enough, you come right back to neutral, and we're going to step to the other side. So again, you just start by stepping 1 foot back, and this is a good place to find any pillows underneath the hips. Some of us may need 2 pillows underneath our hips. Whatever works for you. And I recommend foot underneath its hip to start and just lay down onto those pillows on the side. I'll show you from a different view here. So our left leg is going back, and you just sort of tuck those pillows right underneath and lay down onto those. Now, if you need additional pillows, you can take them in front of the body. So we're working really with whatever we have in our home at this time and using that. So you may begin to lay down on this cushion with forearms. Good. So find your version. Now, if you like the idea of sending your ankle out and off to the side, then you'll need to adjust the pose to accommodate this. So whatever that might look like for you. So find the version that you can really settle into. And we're really trusting ourselves in the practice this evening. By keeping the eyes closed, you can center your awareness into the part of the body that's really calling your attention. Just to reiterate, the most important aspect of these forward folding practices are to release the back of the neck and the head towards the earth. Let your breath dive down into the base of the spine. So you're activating Svadhisthana, or the second sacral center, the second energy center in the body. When this energy center is out of balance, we find ourselves in what's called the mode of the seeker. So we're looking everywhere to sort of plug the holes in our sinking boat. Anything and anything, if it be food, if it be movies, if it be the next teacher, the next book. And the element of water governs this center in the body. So you might think like the surface of the ocean that's tossed by the winds of desire and restlessness. Well, as we embark in our journey, the self-inquiry of yoga, imagine very calm waters, any restlessness dissipating. Emotional perturbance beginning to soften as we arrive back in our essential nature of peace. Nice deep breathing. I'm going to draw the presence of this next chant into our practice, continuing to invite the presence of Christ consciousness. Keep the awareness at the point between the two eyebrows as you listen to these words. Feel your body filled with light. Very gently, as you are ready to exit your pose, you let the breath inspire you and lift you out of the pose. Head is the last part of the body to draw away from the earth. We're going to swing our feet out of the way. We're going to come right into a resting fish pose as a way to really relieve all of this forward folding in the body. So take your pillows right at the base of the spine. Maybe you have some longer pillows here. Just make sure that your spine is supported. We're going to lay ourselves back. So most important here is that the head has a place to rest and that the chin, and you might see demonstrated in me, if the chin is flipping higher than the nose, you're going to need a little extra support on the back side of the head. So pillows from the bed are ideal. Throw pillows, you'll just have to acclimate to your practice this evening, putting them a little longer if need be. Your legs can extend nice and long here. It can be very soothing if the mind is still settling, just to rest the hands onto the belly and to feel the gentle upward and downward flutter of the belly as you breathe. It can be very subtle, but watching this is very grounding. Some of us will flip palms to face up beside the body. If the temperature of your room is a little cool, you might place a blanket over the body. If you have an eye pillow, or even just the sleeve of a sweatshirt over the eyes, can be very helpful to close down your awareness from the senses of outward involvement. And in this posture, you really surrender the fullness of your body heavy against the ground. And the focus here is in the center of the heart. So feel a sense of expanding presence in your heart. The heart has its own restlessness, which manifests in the form of desires needing to be somewhere other than you presently are. This is the root of all desire, outward focused energy. The way to calm this desire is to first see the heart soft and expansive, soothed by the peace that is already within you, and to offer any energies, any emotions which represent energy in motion directed outward, to draw those emotions in through the heart and rise to the point between the two eyebrows and offer them as a sacrament. Let them be sanctified. Any offering of your feelings to the divine is a holy offering, even if there's stress or fear. So you're releasing these experiences of the small self into the big self at the point between the two eyebrows. You might even experience that there's a circuit that gets created as we draw energy in through the heart and up to the point between the two eyebrows, and then release it outward. Clean, purified energy, a receptive quality of energy starts to awaken in the heart, and we sort of circulate out hard to manage feelings. Or we might even just start to supercharge some of these inner soul qualities of joy and love and bliss. And this is the practice of pranayama. Pranayama does not mean breath control, it means energy control. Control in this context means giving energy a direction to flow. Doesn't mean that we vice grip the practice, but just gently encourage it. And you'll find it gains its own momentum, and the heart starts to expand. It starts to clear out and open to really receive beautiful soul qualities. If any emotion feels that it's not quite shifting, if we have a very challenging experience, take the tips of the fingers and synchronize this drum on the sternum, the little breastbone, and do a little drumming here. Nice deep breathing. This will soothe the energy, help to shift. And then you just slowly move up right to the base of the throat. So on the collarbone, not quite in the center, but on these little side areas, just a little drumming here, really help to start to move that energy up. And then you finish at the point between the two eyebrows. You can do one on the heart, one on the point between the brows, or just on the point between the two eyebrows. Once you feel that it's cleared, you just relieve yourself of the practice and go back to the internal practice. All right, we'll have just a brief chant with energy centered at point between the two eyebrows. This is a very sacred chant. You might chant along or just hear it inwardly.
God, Christ, Guru. 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 God, Christ,
Without moving any muscle in the body, remain completely still. Let's just take a few moments in silence together to feel the body filled with awareness. Relaxing so deeply that we can feel the inpouring of energy through the medulla, the backside of our skull. Without need to make it happen or visualize, just let energy flow into the body, all the way down through the throat and shoulders and chest, down the arms, into the region of the belly, the hips, thighs, knees, calves, and feet, filling from the feet and ankles through the shins, knees, thighs, lowest section of the spine, rising all the way up the spine again, through the low spine, mid back, upper back, right to the crown of the head. Beautiful. Let's take this opportunity to center the awareness at the point between the two eyebrows and visualize a strong beam of light expanding from this point. Brilliant white light, luminous, expansive. We're going to turn that beam directly towards the third eye once more and feel it alleviating the body of any negative charge, attracting negative thinking or low vibration moods. It's the same experience as flipping the light switch in a dark room. The moment that this light touches the brain, darkness very simply and matter-of-factly vanishes in the presence. There's no work to be done, no struggle to be had. And let it shine on the rest of your body, alleviating symptoms of heaviness or density. Good, let's go back to the point between the eyebrows and strengthen that beam of energy, nice and strong. Your body is a channel. And this time it's going to come right down through the center of the crown, like a great beam of light surrounding, or a tube of light enveloping the body all the way down to the feet. And you just soften and let this intelligent awareness, this pure light of consciousness, restructure the communications of the bodily cells into harmony, to rebalance the emotional centers, the energetic centers in the spine. You let your whole body and its great dimensional presence be completely aligned. Every kosha, from the physical body to the prana body, the emotional body, the mental body, the intellectual body, and lastly, the bliss body, all in alignment. Let's take this visualization even greater. Expand your sense of awareness like a luminous orb surrounding the body. Keep expanding it outward, beyond boundaries of skin, beyond length of arms reaching in any direction. Opening yourself to this great, expansive quality of light as far as the body's ready to go. You might expand beyond the room. Beautiful, just really enjoying this bliss nature that you are. And in the midst of this, become aware of the heart. The heart is the receiving station. It's where we experience the first awakenings of bliss. When our bodies are in alignment, all the koshas, bliss is the natural experience, the essence of who we are. And you might keep going out further and further beyond the walls of the room, beyond the city, beyond the country, beyond this beautiful globe drifting through space. Into cosmic consciousness, looking up to the point between the two eyebrows. If you feel any contracting energy, just expand out into infinity. Even beyond the earth, beyond the solar system, beyond galaxies, your body is vast. And there's such a relief in this experience. It's almost like being in the physical body is just so confining for the vast cosmic identity of who we are, our bliss nature, as vast as this universe. It's like taking off a shoe that was tied too tight after days and days of work, and finally you can stretch out and embody who you truly are. Feeling light shining from every atom of creation. In Christ consciousness, the perfect reflection of the divine, reflecting this beautiful, luminous self that you are. And the physical body is like a little bubble drifting on this infinite sea. The emotions, the thoughts that from the viewpoint of our personality seem so big, in the presence of this cosmic consciousness are just tiny ripples. Even the earth in this cosmic perspective is just one of innumerable life-supporting planets. So however expanded you relaxed into, let's bring a certain amount of our awareness, not the entirety, but a portion of it, to locate the physical body, coming back into the galaxy, the solar system, the earth, the country, the city, the room, until you pinpoint your body. And we'll take a moment here to feel ourselves, yes, as the physical body, but also as whatever expanded state is available to you. And notice that you can embody both together. You can be both expanded and in the body. There'll be a natural point where the energy, where your attention and your awareness starts to come more dominantly into the physical body. And let this be a natural experience. So whenever you're ready, coming back more fully into the body, if you need to satisfy any desire to move, you're welcome to. But otherwise, just take a few moments and feel that great sense of relief when all these bodies, these various aspects of our being are in perfect alignment. So if you are ready to introduce more movement, you can wiggle fingers, you can wiggle toes. Some of us like to reach arms up overhead, behind the body, reaching. Can be articulating fingers in a particular way or circling wrists. Some of us don't want to move the body at all because the experience is so wonderful. Just take your time. Try to leave the eyes closed, though. Don't worry about holding on to your experience. Just let it be as it is. If you feel very body bound, that's okay. Let's bring awareness right into the central column within the body, known by the yogis and now by us as the Sushumna. It's like a perfect tube of light that extends from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Just feel free travel here, rising up and down from body experience into that cosmic state and back and forth. Again, it's natural that we might sort of crash land back into body consciousness if this experience is new for you to be this expanded, and that's totally fine. Come back to the body, take deep breaths. What I'd recommend is just sort of rolling off to the side to rise out of this pose. Since we've been here for a while, just roll off onto the ground and then slowly using the hands, leave the head low and press your way into a comfortable seat. So you can sit cross-legged if you'd like. You can sit up onto the edge of a pillow. I do recommend, to help keep your spine long, a little pillow behind the base of the sits bones. So as soon as you arrive, just close the eyes back down and turn the palms to face up on the lap. And you know what? Let's take a double inhalation and just tense the body and vibrate anything that doesn't belong. And then release. Again. Squeezing legs, belly, arms, back, chest, throat, face even, and then release. One more time. And releasing. Good. Palms face up on the lap. This is your moment to really draw that energy to the point between the two eyebrows. Look upward slightly. And let's listen to a few rounds of the Gayatri mantra. This is our closing practice here together this evening. A very sacred and holy mantra that was given to us at a very deep time of need. We're told to chant this mantra to raise light in times of great darkness. You might think of our world at this time as being in a rather contracted place of darkness. We're going to really call on the light with the Gayatri. If you know the mantra, sing along. If you can get a little piece of it, wonderful.
Swaha Om Tat Saviturvaraniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayatu Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Om Tat Saviturvaraniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayatu.
Just remaining inward for another moment or so. Let's join the hands together in prayer. Feeling the energy of the heart rising inward and upward. Great devotion in your practice. We call the presence of all the great masters, saints and sages of all traditions. Pray with us as we bless this beautiful world and all of the souls in this world. May they feel supported by their own sense of inner peace, by the great energy that flows through them in every moment. Bless these beautiful souls. Let's rub our palms together. If there's anyone that you would like to pray for particular, see them as you sound these ohms. Let's extend the palms. Notice if you feel vibration in the palms and focus on being a channel by relaxing. Let's join together, deep breath in, and we'll om. Om. the hands together in prayer at the point between the two eyebrows, a gentle bow of the head. Looking inward and upward, we bow the ego. Let's draw the hands to the heart, to our higher nature. We bow to that place within us which is wise, which is loving, compassionate, ever understanding, ever expansive. This is the center of who we are, the essence of our being, laying quietly beneath the mind, beneath the personality, awaiting your inquiry. We honor this place and each other by saying namaste. Namaste to everyone this evening.